Alright, we're live.
Oh, I caught it, and it's alive still.
Then squish it. Kill it! Kill it with fire!
Relax, it's dying. It's a fire. Relax. Goddamn! I watched this video online, and it's sort of like this really like close-up of a spider.
Yeah.
And the guy just like pulls the camera away and just throws an entire plate at it. And it shatters on the ground. It's so funny.
Just an entire plate?
Yeah, he just like... And that was the end of the video.
Did the spider die?
I don't know. It was the end of the video. I have no idea.
Oh, hey, Flap. What did I tell you about flapping on this lawn? Next time.
Hey, this is my lawn. You live over in the mountains, all right? Don't even.
Do I? I'm pretty sure I just sleep on your lawn last I checked.
Yeah, you kind of do. Because I've never seen you anywhere other than right here whenever I wake up.
Like the bushes open, it's like Secret Base style from
Nice.
Ruby and Sapphire. this Charmander's house is like a blanket and like a rabbit ear television.
You have just like your tail poking out constantly so you don't burn the inside of the bush. And this guy, there's no explanation for him.
You mean I don't have a fireplace that's just your ass?
Nope. But there's no explanation for this guy.
Yeah.
Other than he's just this color because. It's not even what a shiny Kecleon is.
Maybe he's just blending in.
Terribly. His background is red. You're a better background blending in with that. You're orange.
Magic.
And I want to go behind his little house thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know how.
Why,
I don't think
what's
can.
behind there?
I have no idea. I just know that I can. It's a walkway.
There's a walkway. That means I have to be able to go there.
Yeah.
What do you think this is? Breath of the Wild?
Maybe.
So
is Breath of the Wild more like a Skyrim version of Zelda? For like free roaming?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, there's nothing over there. Well, tiny as it is.
I label it more like crossing Fable with Skyrim with Zelda for title.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Like,
I played Fable.
Yeah, I label it more Fable-like, where you go into an area, you can kill all the guys, it's still kind of cartoony and whatnot.
Well, I more meant like...
Yeah.
I more meant Skyrim for world.
Yeah.
Expansiveness.
And that's my bit with Skyrim, is just that, whereas Fable, you go into an area and that's the set thing you have.
Yeah.
Skyrim, if you can see it, you can go there somehow.
Yeah, I remember my first time playing Skyrim, I actually went and decided just to regularly do the typical first missions, and I got to Whiterun, I think it's called.
I thought we were going to Lost Woods.
No, we had one other one for this. We'll do this first.
Oh.
It's stronger, remember?
Yes, it is.
So I went there, I was like, alright, let's go to find the freaking graybeards. Fucking dragon. I'm level like 0.
Yeah.
Just a dragon. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Hi, dragon. It kills me, obviously. I get back up, I leave. Instead of going directly towards the dragon, I'm like, oh, fuck it, I'll go around.
Yeah.
Go around, another dragon. Just decided to be, hey, I'm gonna dragon here. How you doing?
Yeah, Breath of the Wild is very Skyrim in that you can go where you want. Whether it's a good idea or not is debatable.
I want them to make a Zelda where I can make my own character.
That's kind of the bit I was hoping for, at least, pick between a boy or a girl for Link, because that was talked about as a thing, but people had like an uproar, and I'm like, why?
I mean, you could have been Linkle.
Yeah, like Linkle is a thing.
That sort of.
It's in Hyrule Warriors. She's in Hyrule Warriors.
I know. I don't see the point of her, but
she's interesting, and I like her.
Is she only there to be a female Link, though? Is that like her whole point?
Yes and no. She's a unique entity in the world.
Oh, is she actually?
Yeah, of Hyrule Warriors. She and Link are separate people. Linkle believes that she is the hero. She has a compass that is supposed to be like held by the hero.
Yeah.
So Linkle believes that she is the legendary hero reincarnated. And it's an awesome character for her. And she's also like, she gets hopelessly lost everywhere.
Yeah.
Like like anime style, hilariously hopelessly lost.
Yeah.
Like, I need to get to Hyrule Castle so that I can help with the fight because I'm the hero. Which way is Hyrule Castle? It's this way. And then, like, it'll zoom out and there was a sign saying it's the opposite direction.
Oh, I gotcha.
Like, hilarious anime style getting lost. But I liked Linkle as a character, even as just an option to be a female Link, because And I made this argument when, like, the whole should Link be allowed to be either gender or Link or whatever.
Yeah.
I made that same argument the same argument then, because the purpose of Link as a silent protagonist is to project on him and feel that you are doing all these things. That's why you could name him for so long.
Yeah.
So having him as a boy or a girl just allows a female player to more easily project on a character that is like themselves.
Gotcha.
And like a large set of the audience for Zelda is female players, so I don't see why people are in such this uproar, because they can easily portray themselves on Link, but somebody who's not can't. And I think there's even an extra credits argument about it on how Rust did it right.
Yeah.
Where in Rust, when you load into the game, you have no choice over any of that. And it sparked all sorts of conversations where, like, people were like, I was spawned into the game as an African American or black person.
Yeah.
And I was actually treated and got all these racist remarks that I'd never had before, and it made them experience a whole type of life that they hadn't before. So that's kind of the opposite end of that kind of a story, where on the one end, if I can create a character or even just pick a gender, it makes it easier for me to portray myself onto that character.
It's like the same kind of thing with Master Chief, where he was a very silent protagonist at first, and then for the same reason, he never took off his helmet, nothing. So you could project yourself into what he was supposed to be.
He did talk in Halo 1, though. I played it recently with Nick.
Never heard it once.
He talks a few times.
He's quiet enough that you would overlook it, pretty much. I mean, Link technically talks too.
But you're right. A faceless hero is one that you can easily portray yourself onto. The Doom Marine is kind of the same way, where he's just a helmet.
Yeah, he's just like an arm.
Doom Marine is helmet. You get like the arm. You've got. I mean, that's not to say that characters who have character are bad. Like Duke Nukem initially, he's funny.
Yeah,
he's fun to play something else. But in the case of Zelda, where it's like the sense of exploration and wonder and improving a character in an RPG or adventure style sense, you want to project yourself onto a silent protagonist. You want to be that character. It's why so many JRPGs, the main character, you pick the name, and then nothing after that.
Yeah.
Like, they don't say a thing. They're completely silent. You pick the name, and every choice you make is your decision, because you're projecting onto that character.
I would just, as a not super hardcore gamer, I would like at least the option to pick being a boy or a girl.
Exactly.
Simply because I am a girl, and I don't mind. Like, I don't care if Link's a dude. It doesn't bother me.
Exactly.
He is effeminate enough that you can make it work.
Yeah.
At least to me, but it still is that small little.
Yeah, it's the option, and the option doesn't hurt anybody.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate thing is, I know why, if it was a plan, that they got rid of it, because they chose instead to do the voice acting route.
Oh, okay.
Which meant that's why you can't name Link in Breath of the Wild, because they reference him specifically
he is
as
actually Link.
So, I'm sad that the option to choose whether I was a boy or a girl is removed. Not that... I mean, I don't know what I would pick if I did have the option. Part of me would be like, boy, because, it's always been a boy. Or maybe I want to be a girl, because I tend to enjoy playing girls in games.
The outfits would look pretty better too.
Yeah.
But then again, a lot of if Breath of the Wild had the option to be a boy and a girl, the entire Gerudo place wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is that, again, there are bits of the game that make it slightly important that you are one gender or the other.
Yeah.
I actually, again, I talked about it when I was playing Ocarina of Time for my Zelda chronology.
Yeah.
Because that was around the time Breath of the Wild and that whole controversy was happening.
Yeah.
And I had my bit where, in most of the Zelda games, it would not make a difference if Link was a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
But there are some, with how the story goes, that it is important that he is one gender or the other.
Yeah.
Because of how characters react to him as a result. In the case of, you're right, the Gerudo, in Ocarina of Time, if you were a female, you would be allowed into the Gerudo camp, and that would remove that entire section of the game.
Yep.
Ruto has a huge thing about only giving you the stone because she's supposed to give it to the person that they're going to marry.
Yeah.
And you could potentially rewrite it as, like, you know, she becomes a friend, or she could be gay, or anything like that.
Or you could even say that she's going to give it to her family since it is the royal thing, and she treats you like a sister if you want to save her from the fish.
Exactly. Like, there are ways that you
Yeah.
could write it differently, but with how it is written,
You kind of can't.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
change the gender freely.
I think if Breath of the Wild had it where, depending on your gender, it was a different game, then if you had like a second save file, you were the opposite gender of what you started as.
You don't get multiple save files.
Even like that sucks, but I think if you wanted to restart your game and play as the other gender,
Yeah.
even still, I think that would make it. Like, I like stories with multiple.
Well, so that's a lie. There's no save files, and there's
Like
infinite
one
save files. Essentially, how it works is every user on the Switch gets a save file, and you can just make another user if you want.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay, so yeah, technically you could just have like
you could have
a multiple account type thing.
Yeah, just put another account, be like, hey, this is like Zelda 1, just delete it when
Yeah.
you're done, or whatever.
Huh, that's pretty cool.
So it's nice. But yes, I don't disagree with you where minor changes to the game, possibly, but that's a lot of extra writing, and the voice acting is the major thing, because that means you have to do the extra set of lines. RPG games where your main character can be a boy or a girl, it's a lot easier for the most part, because you redo one line or two.
Yeah.
And then you just have a male voice actor for the character and a female voice actor for the character.
However, I think I've never played Breath of the Wild, so I don't know anything other than. Don't you dare. Other than.
Yeah. Go on.
That Link was in stasis.
Yeah.
Do you think that he's supposed to be the Ocarina version?
No.
Because that just kind of is what it seemed like?
No. He's definitely not the Ocarina version. Again, with how the game is portrayed, all of the events of Ocarina have already happened.
Okay.
All of the events of Twilight Princess have happened, and all the events of the original Zelda, I believe, have happened.
So...
No, Wind Waker.
But Wind Waker's not...
There's one of the memories I ended up finding where essentially Zelda is knighting Link.
Yeah.
And she goes on about the deeds of all the various previous heroes, which she mentions Twilight Princess.
Oh, yeah,
as well as
they're all like reincarnations of each other kind of thing.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
So she actually goes through and starts rhyming. I know she says Twilight, Time, and I can't remember the third one. I want to say it's Wind Waker, which means that it makes the timeline iffy on where this one falls. Because it's split based on how Ocarina goes.
Yeah.
But it can't be Ocarina Link because it's split at that point.
Yeah. Huh.
Like I said, my initial bit would that be that it was after Wind Waker.
Yeah.
But Wind Waker, the world was flooded, so it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Wind Waker the one with the Rito people being like half bird, half human?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure in that they specifically mentioned that they're an evolution of Zora.
Yeah, and this one has them both, which becomes iffy.
But they're more of an evolved version.
Yeah.
These are actual entire birds.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. It never said all evolved from Zora. It's just some evolved. So I mean.
One of the major bits on the timeline is actually the Zoras in general.
Yeah.
In that the Zoras you see in Ocarina of Time are known as Sea Zoras.
Yeah.
Because in the original games, Zoras are an enemy. They pop out of the water and
they're like the
fireballs.
They're the River King, we'll say.
Yeah, the River King in Link to the Past is a big Zora.
Yeah.
So he's like the easiest example of saying that, yeah, there are two different types of Zoras, and essentially how it's said is that the Sea Zoras evolved into the River Zoras, and they kind of like lost a lot of their quote-unquote humanity as they went.
Oh, okay. So then the river ones would be more feral, so to speak.
Yeah.
Where the sea ones are more civilized and actual, like, an actual society.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then apparently they became... So then the river ones would have been the ones to become the flying people.
Possibly.
Potentially.
Or the sea ones would have turned into the flying people. I don't know. It's hard to say. There's a lot of iffiness. This is what happens when you add a timeline to something that technically never had a timeline to begin with. It was just fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I like the timeline. I like some of the stuff that it explains. And that's why I decided to, on my channel, play through the timeline in chronological order to see, do things make sense?
Yeah. And so far, does it?
It doesn't do badly.
That's not bad.
I'll tell you one thing, Link's Awakening is a lot better in a chronological sense.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Have you ever played Link's Awakening?
I have not. The only thing I've played is Ocarina of Time up until the Forest Temple, and that's it. And then some of Twilight Princess.
Yeah. If you want to borrow any, just let me know. But no, Ocarina, or Link's Awakening starts with Link on, like, a ship.
Yeah.
In the middle of the ocean, and his ship gets struck by lightning, and then he ends up on this island.
Isn't the whole thing just a dream? Or am I thinking of a different Link?
You are thinking of the correct one, yeah.
Okay.
But what happens is, later in the Game Boy Color's lifespan, they released, what was it called? Oracle of Ages and Seasons?
Yeah.
And the timeline puts them just before Link's Awakening. And at the end of those games, if you play the crossover game, so you play through one and then go through the other, the ending cutscene has Link leaving on a ship, which means that those ones happen sequentially.
Nice.
And then you've got Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, where at the end of Ocarina of Time, he puts the sword away and then goes and has the adventures in Termina of Majora's Mask. So there are some of them that do fit linear with each other. But trying to fit them all together, there are too many weird inconsistencies that require that timelines be weird. And again, it's putting a timeline on something that didn't need one.
Okay, I got a question for you that has to do with Zelda, but nothing to do with timelines.
Sure.
Other than Hylian.
Yeah.
Or Gerudo.
Okay.
Actually, no, we'll use Gerudo as an example.
Okay.
What? I'll say race.
Yeah.
Because I count the Gorons and the Zora, whatever else you want to count, as race.
They're labeled as races of Hyrule.
Yeah. So what would you be? And that is using any of your knowledge of any of the races that have ever been in any game other than Hylian.
Any game?
If you want.
Okay. I might need some time to think on this one. Because there are a lot of races that show up, like, really briefly.
Yeah.
Because...
Oops.
It's such a hard one. I've never had to think about this.
I ask these kinds of questions.
This is like... If Zelda was like an RPG or like a tabletop, what race would you pick for your character?
Oh, that would be so much fun. We should do that.
I was writing a campaign thing for it for 3.5 for a while.
Awesome. I would love to play that. That would be so much fun.
The problem with it is that most people's expectation of Zelda is 8 dungeons. There's like a preset formula. I'm hoping Breath of the Wild changes that significantly.
Yeah.
Because Breath of the Wild is very open to the idea of something like an RPG or whatever.
Yeah. I'd be into it.
Yeah. What would be the most fun?
Or the one you've mostly...
Yeah. Like, I want to say something obscure like the Pickery, but...
You're gonna have to tell me what some of them are. Is that the Minish Cap?
Yeah. They're the tiny little Minish Cap
With the little
people.
cute feather tails?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I know who you're talking about.
I kind of like them, but I don't think they would be the option.
Oh, that counts Keaton, too. That counts. They're a race.
The Keaton are awesome.
Yeah.
Are we leaving the Sheka is different than Hylian's?
Like the Sheik? That's your discretion.
Okay.
Because Zelda is technically not a Sheik, like a Sheikah, but she'd be just trained by Impa, who is.
Yeah.
So
I think the Sheikah are less of a race in the way you were saying it, and they're more of like a tribe.
Yeah.
It'd be like the difference
like
between
a clan.
Yeah, the difference between like. Man, there's no way I can say this and not sound racist, is there?
Do your best.
The difference between like Mohawk and
that's where I figured you were gonna go. And
I was gonna say something that I was gonna like between like being American and being Chinese or something, and I was like, nope, that is going
too far.
terribly.
Too far.
I'm just like, no, that's not what I'm trying to say.
No, but no, I totally understand, and yes, I agree. So if you still count them as Hylians, then not them. Either way.
I'd be a dragon.
You can be a dragon? There's a dragon race?
There are a few. Skyward Sword has 3 great dragons, who are like Lanayru.
For the Nehru and Furore.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, I gotcha.
And Breath of the Wild has them too.
Oh, like actual sentient dragons that walk around and talk to you?
They don't talk to you per se, but they are like guardian deities.
Okay, well, do they count if there's not like a sentient race?
I guess you could be correct on that.
If they're deities, it's a little bit overpowered. That's not fair.
I wasn't going for overpowered. It's just like dragons clearly exist within the world because you have one like Volvagia, and if you're going for additional sources of media and whatnot, the manga for Ocarina of Time actually gave Volvagia backstory.
Okay.
Volvagia in the manga, and this is actually a chapter that is very hard to come by because I believe they removed it. So like if you go get like scans of the books, or whatever, you can get digital copies of all of the chapters except for the Fire Temple chapter. You can only get them like manually scanned from physical copies because I think they removed it. But essentially, it rewrites Volvagia as instead of just being the dragon that the Gorons fought and whatnot, and this great legend, Volvagia is a dragon that in Link's childhood, when he was exploring through like Hyrule Market, he saw this like small trapped dragon and he purchased it and essentially let it go.
Oh, that's cute.
So he has like this relationship with Volvagia in the manga, and there's this big moment where he has to kill Volvagia because Volvagia has been, you know, manipulated by Ganon and become evil and whatnot. And like the whole chapter is about like Link needing to accept the fact that he needs to kill this dragon that he helped.
Oh, that's sad.
So in that sense, dragons would be a race because they had children.
Well, I mean, technically so do horses, and they're not really a race either.
Very true, but you were asking for sentient
No,
things.
I know.
And Volvagia and the other dragons, therefore, would be.
So if you wanted to count it, sure.
Yeah.
But I guess I more meant humanoid. Rather than.
Fair enough.
Either way, dragon stuff counts, but like for the humanoid, non-Hylian races.
Alright, I'll grant you that and think of another one.
See, I'm torn on my answers because I love Death Mountain. Fire is my favorite element, but I hate the Goron.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be like a Zora, but that
Yeah, I don't disagree with you in that I like Death Mountain and whatnot, but I'm not a huge fan of the Gorons in general.
Yeah.
I find they've done a lot better in Breath of the Wild with the Gorons.
Yeah.
Like, I liked hanging out with the Gorons. They had a lot of personality. They also, again, I think one of my favorite things about Breath of the Wild is just that everyone looks different.
I like that too, actually. That's a nice refresher. It almost makes me want to get the game myself.
Yeah, like you saw me walking around Zora's Domain, and just everyone was colorful.
And I had only ever seen Prince Sidon and his sister, so I only assumed that they were all red.
Yeah.
So.
The Gorons are the same kind of deal, where they've got like all sorts of different shades of brown and yellow that they are.
That's cool.
And they've got like different models in certain cases and whatnot. So I like the diversity that they have in Breath of the Wild a lot. It makes the Gorons a little more palatable for me, rather than them being just
generic,
the same guy you run into over and over, just slightly resized.
Except for the leader, who just is the only one with the big flowing mane.
Yeah, he has like a beard. It's like, why are you the only one with a beard?
Yeah. How do they reproduce if they're all dudes?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Right? Like,
where are Goron women?
Or if they're Goron women, are they like women dwarves and you just can't tell the difference?
Yeah.
Which would make that huge one that blocks off the entrance really weird.
Yeah. But yeah, like there's a lot of weird stuff. You know, I like the Gerudo a lot, especially since Breath of the Wild.
Is Nabooru mentioned at all? Amy.
I want to say she is.
She should be. She is like the most prominent character. In
I know Ruto is mentioned by name in the Zora's Domain. Other than, I think they like hint towards them. Mm-hmm. If the great beast is named Naboris in it, then that means, and they referenced specifically earlier when I was in Zora's Domain that the divine beasts were named after great heroes of the past, and I showed you like the naming schemes for them, like Radunia.
Yeah.
Or Rudania, sorry. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
So clearly Nabooru would have existed. Also, the Gerudo champion specifically mentions that at one point Ganon was a Gerudo.
Yeah.
Which references Ocarina of Time specifically. So if they reference that Ganondorf, then they would in turn know of
Nabooru.
Nabooru.
Nice. Good. I like her.
But yeah, I like how they've fleshed out the Gerudo society
Yeah.
in Breath of the Wild, because the Gerudo have played such kind of like a backdoor role in any of the games they've been in. Because they've been in Ocarina of Time, where they were more or less just thieves.
Yep.
And that's...
Amazon warrior thieves.
And that's where you're getting a little bit racist.
Yeah.
Especially considering, you know, they're... just the whole thing behind it. So, the Gerudo thieves were just thieves. In this one, they're portrayed... many of them are traders.
Mm-hmm. Like merchants.
Yeah, like
Gotcha.
it's the largest mercantile spot. It's almost like Aladdin.
Okay.
But,
So it almost seems like, what you're telling me, it almost seems like they went from being like super closed off in their borders to being a little bit more open to the other people.
yeah.
Sort
They
of.
still don't let men in.
No, but
But the other thing is that they did even just very small things with the Gerudo that I like.
yeah,
Like, when they greet you, they say, Sav Sarak, I believe.
yeah,
Like, they gave them language. They refer
Nice.
to men as Vo and women as Vi.
yeah.
Like, they have this language, this society. It's so much more built up on than they're just a group of thieves that Ganondorf came from.
yeah.
And really, the Gerudo haven't really been in that many games. They've been
No.
in Ocarina of Time. There's one or two of them in Majora. Oh no, they're pirates in Majora's Mask. Like, they're just always have been thieves. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
So to have them with this whole thriving society is very, very nice.
Yeah. So I was surprised you didn't say you would have been a Gerudo.
I had to stop and think about it.
I don't know, like I don't really know a lot of the species, but I'd probably either be one of the newer Vitos if they're full bird, because that would be cool.
I consistently run into a parrot one. So
Is he blue?
he is blue.
He's the bard, the accordion?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's everyone. Actually, everyone's thirsty as fuck for Prince Sidon, but he's also the only one I've ever seen any art of other than that.
Yeah. Like I said, I haven't been to the Rito village yet. It's the only one I haven't been to.
I would assume they would be the same as the Zora, as in like they're all super diverse though. If you run into a parrot.
Yeah, if I run into a parrot and I know what the champion looks like and he's kind of like falcon-y.
Yeah, then they would all be different too. But they're all full like anthropomorphic birds.
Yeah.
Nice.
They
Then
are.
yeah, I would probably be that.
And they can indeed fly.
Good. Do they have like wing hands? Like their feathers or their fingers?
Yeah.
Nice.
They do have the wing hand thing going on.
I like that. That's good. That's good. That's cool.
Like I said, I haven't seen them in this one. I remember in Wind Waker, how they did is that they had normal hands,
Yeah.
but then they would like spread them out and suddenly
Yeah.
they'd be
Because
wings.
you have to hang out with that one chick.
Yeah.
Medley, I think is her name, right?
Yeah, Medley.
Yeah, she's got like the weird beak nose.
Yeah.
Like that.
They're like
bothers
ducks.
me. Yeah, like it's weird.
Yeah.
And like her whiny brother Prince
Yeah.
because he can't fly or some shit.
I think that's one of the major things I like most with Breath of the Wild and just their choices is that they picked the Zoras and the Gorons who have been staples for basically ever.
Mm-hmm.
But then they tossed in the Gerudo and the Rito, who have always been just
It's like,
one-off.
Yeah, it's like side
ones.
things.
Yeah, they were in Wind Waker and they were a thing. They were like mail carriers and that was
Yeah.
their thing. And the Gerudo, they were always been thieves, and they took these two races that essentially had just been on the back burner of Zelda stuff and gave them full societies.
See, I like that too.
I like that fleshing out. Like I found the Zoras first and then I found the Gorons.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is standard Zora. It's a little bit more diverse in like
Yeah.
the coloring and you get to learn a little bit more about like their age cycles and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's Zoras. And then I got to Gorons and it's like they're eating rocks. It's Gorons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they had this whole thing with mining and I was like, well, this is interesting, but it's nothing new.
Yeah.
And then I got to the Gerudo town, and I'm expecting, oh, well, you know, is it going to be the same as always? Just you know, but then I got in, and like you meet Gerudos of different ages, and like there's some of the older ones. Who are like,
Good.
yes, I recognize that you're a Vo, and you know, I had my time, and they all have like these intense stories and
Nice.
stuff. And it's just like, this is a fleshed out world, and giving
nice.
the Rito and the Gerudo that treatment when
Yeah.
they really haven't had it prior is fantastic. And I
True.
love it.
Yeah, I also like that it's been. They could technically like say it's been 100 years, so of course they're gonna have more of a dynamic society now. It's been 100 years.
Yeah. Well, no, this is 100 years since Hyrule was destroyed.
Yeah.
Calamity Ganon happened and everything went to hell. This is 100 years after basically rebuilding society.
Yep. So this is the first of this we've ever got.
Oh?
It's an escort mission.
Oh.
So we take this Poochyena to Plusle in Thunderwave Cave, third basement floor.
Well, we got a silver gummy. What's that do?
You eat them.
Oh. Just food?
Kinda.
Anyway, that is episode time, though.
Well, we'll do it next time then.
Yes.
Alrighty.
See you later, everyone.
See you later.